You know that moment where you're standing in a circle of four people, everyone laughs and you laugh too, except you didn't actually hear the joke. Yeah, that one. Today I'll show you why the people who never feel left out in a group are not better talkers than you. They're not funnier. They're not quicker. They're doing something completely different and it takes about 3 seconds to learn. Once you see it, standing in a group stops feeling like merging onto a highway where every single car is a bus. Here's what almost everyone gets wrong. You're waiting for a gap. A clean little pause where the conversation stops, everyone turns, and somebody politely hands you the floor. So you wait, you nod. You do that thing where you inhale slightly like you're about to speak and then don't. I once spent 11 minutes at a housewarming standing on the edge of a circle holding one drink I'd stopped drinking about 40 minutes earlier, waiting for the right moment. The right moment never came. So I did what I always did. I went and petted the dog. Great dog, best conversation I had all night. But then from across the room I watched somebody else walk up to that exact same circle and get in. And you know how she did it? She talked straight over the end of a guy's punchline, straight over it. Nobody minded, nobody even noticed, and that's when it landed. I'd been standing there waiting for a door. There is no door, that's the whole problem, and I call it the invisible door. Group conversations don't have gaps, they have overlaps. One-on-one is a cue, polite, orderly, your turn then my turn. A group is a mosh pit with better manners. Nobody's holding a clipboard, nobody's going to call your name. And the fix is smaller than you think because you don't have to enter with a whole thought. Reacting counts. A loud no way counts. A groan counts. Laughing half a second louder than everybody else counts. That's not filler. That's you putting a foot in the water so the group registers that you exist. But there's a reason your foot never actually touches the water, and it has nothing to do with courage. Most of the time you're talking, they just can't hear you. A group runs at a completely different volume than one person does. 4 people, music, somebody whose laugh could crack a window, and you enter at library volume. Polite, measured, the vocal equivalent of a customer service hold message, so the group isn't ignoring you. The group genuinely cannot detect you. You're on a frequency the room doesn't own a radio for, and then you go home and decide you're bad at this. You're not bad at this. You're quiet in a loud room, call it the volume tax. So here's the fix, and it feels wrong the first few times. Start louder than is comfortable and start with a short, ugly word, not a sentence, a word. Wait. Okay, but no. See, that's the thing. Those aren't clever. They're not supposed to be clever. They're doorbells. They buy you about 1.5 seconds of everyone's attention, and 1.5 seconds is all you need because once eyes are on you, the sentence just shows up. It always does. But there's one entry move almost everybody reaches for that quietly does the opposite, and it's the one you've been told your whole life is the polite one. Asking a question. One-on-one, a question is the best tool you own. In a group, it's the question trap, because a question stops the current. You're pulling the emergency brake on a train nobody asked you to board, and now you're standing there needing somebody to answer. And if nobody does because they were mid-story, because your timing was half a beat off, because the music swelled, you don't just fail to join. You visibly fail in front of everyone. It's a missed high five with witnesses. I did this at a dinner once. 6 people, great energy, and I go, so what do you all do? And the conversation just kept walking, straight past me like I was a lamp. Nobody was being cruel. I tried to change the direction of a river by asking it nicely, so flip it. In a group, react instead of asking. Reactions don't need a reply. They can't fail. Nobody has to turn to you. You're just adding to the noise the group is already making, which is the entire activity. Questions are for 2 people. Reactions are for 4. But even reacting has a window, and it's much shorter than you think. About 3 seconds, that's it. After a group laughs, you've got roughly 3 seconds before somebody else claims the floor, and that window is the best entry point in any group conversation on earth. Right after a laugh, nobody owns the floor. It's the one red light in the whole conversation where anybody's allowed to cross. Everyone's guard is down, everyone's a little softer. The group is briefly, genuinely open. The laugh is the door, that's the 3-second rule. Now here's the part nobody tells you. What you say in those 3 seconds does not have to be good, it has to be fast. Okay, that's actually so unfair. See, this is why I don't go outside. My cousin did the exact same thing and he's 41. Sorry, I need significantly more information about the rooster. Not one of those is smart. They don't have to be. They aren't jokes, they're claims. You're claiming a spot. And once you've spoken in a group even once, even badly, even for 2 seconds, you're in. The group has quietly refiled you from spectator to participant, and everything after that is downhill. But there's something running in the background that will eat all 3 of those seconds before you ever get to spend them. You're not in the conversation, you're auditioning for it. Audition brain, there's a process running the whole time. Was that weird? Do they like me? Am I standing right? Why did I say it like that? It's an antivirus scan nobody asked for, chewing through the exact processing power you need to just be there. Psychologists have a name for the middle of this. Thomas Gilovich at Cornell called it the spotlight effect, and he tested it in the funniest way available to science. He made students walk into a room full of their peers wearing a t-shirt with Barry Manilow's face on it, then asked how many people noticed. They guessed about half the room. Real number was closer to a quarter, and that's a Barry Manilow t-shirt. Your slightly awkward sentence is not a Barry Manilow t-shirt. There's also a reason the fear feels so physical, and it isn't in your head. Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA had people play a simple online ball-tossing game, then had the other players freeze them out of it. Their brains lit up in the same region that processes physical pain. Getting left out actually hurts. Your body isn't inventing that. It's just treating a mildly quiet Tuesday like a broken bone. Nobody's home tonight reviewing your performance like game tape. I once loudly agreed with a joke I'd misheard, agreed with the wrong half of it, and earned a solid 3 seconds of confused silence. By the time the drinks came, it was gone. Not forgiven. Gone. And there's one last move, the one that makes the other 5 almost unnecessary. Stop looking for the door, be the door. The night this actually clicked wasn't the housewarming. It was months later, another party, and I was doing my usual routine at the edge of a group. Then I noticed a guy about 4 feet away doing the identical thing, holding a drink he'd stopped drinking, doing the little inhale, and something in me just went, oh, that's me. So I turned my shoulders, opened a gap in the circle, and said, hey, get in here, you're going to want to hear this story is insane. That's it, that's the whole move. And the second I did it, I wasn't on the edge anymore. I was the person letting somebody in. That's the doorman, because insiders aren't the ones who got let in. Insiders are the ones who let other people in, and it costs exactly 1 sentence. So the people who look like they belong everywhere, they're not funnier than you, they're not faster, they just stopped waiting for a door that was never there. And the ones who hold it open for somebody else are the ones everybody remembers anyway. So which of these 6 is the one strangling you? The invisible door, the volume tax, the question trap, the 3-second rule, the audition brain, or the doorman? 1 through 6, drop the number below and be honest, because the one that annoyed you most is usually yours. If something in this made a room in your head go quiet, subscribe to Unspoken. There's more of this coming.